I'm Ina Advani, Director of Analytics here at Coastal and Product Owner for CRM Analytics, Tableau, and Tableau Next. Today, I'm going to be talking through interoperability between CRM Analytics and Tableau Next, and how Tableau Next can drive down the time to insight when paired with CRM Analytics. So I'm landed here on a homepage within Salesforce where I have a CRM Analytics dashboard embedded in the page, as well as Tableau Next Metrics. I'm looking at this from the lens of a regional sales manager who's focusing on revenue KPIs and the metrics and the underlying data trying to get to insight. So I can see here with my KPIs at the top, I have the lineage between both CRMA and Tableau Next, where I can match my 1.2 million in sales to this, but I can also see how that's trending over time and with AI insights. Now, as a regional sales manager, I'm focused on one region in particular, and the East region is what's assigned to me. And I can see that the East region is leading in sales, but actually lagging behind in profit despite having that leading spot. So I'm going to filter down our dashboard to the East region and try and understand why that's happening. You can see that I can see how the data is trending over time. We seem to have some kind of cyclical nature to our data. But also something that's jumping out as me is with our highest selling products, tables are actually showing a negative profit. So that's something we'd want to double click into. If I filter down to that and look at our actual breakdown of profit and sales, you can see that even though we're generating a lot of sales for tables, the profit is low on all of these. We're not passing the break-even point. So that's definitely something we want to investigate. With the next metrics layered on top of CRMA, I can open this metric up and actually dive into that data specifically. So now we'll land me on a page like this, where I'm able to see that how that profit is trending over time, as well as a breakdown by various different products. But I want to, like I said, filter down to the East region and really narrow down into tables as our focus point. When I do that, you'll notice that I get a different view of the data, but it's matching what I was seeing in the CRMA dashboard. All of these orders are showing a profit of either 0 or below, and that's within our expected range. I can now see a different breakdown. I still have the ability to narrow down into either segment or product, but it's limited the options to me based on the filters I have. So I'm only looking at data that's really going to drill down further than the initial insight I have. But again, I can see that this data is showing me that we're producing negative profit on all of these orders. So I need to understand why. We have row level data below this pulse metric, so I can go into some specific records if that's the level of detail that I want to go into. But actually, I want to understand the underlying trends behind this. So I'm going to reach out to Agentforce to start asking more specific questions. One such question would be, are there any additional order details for these table purchases in the East that can help me understand why we're not making money on these orders? And you can see that this additional data is going to be well formatted. I get a text response as well as a visual. And now, as well as the order ID, I can see which customers this is for, what the sales value was, the profit, and the discount. And something that's jumping out to me immediately is that these are very highly discounted products. So my next question would be, well, what is the average discount for these orders? And I can see immediately from Agentforce that in this region in particular, tables are being discounted by 37%, which is insane. We're over discounting these products, which is why we're not making money. But I want to contextualize that. So my follow-up question is, how does this compare to the average discount across all orders? And Agentforce is able to tell me that table purchases in the East region is that 37%, which is significantly higher than the average discount across all orders. But not only that, it will contextualize it by giving me the discount rate for the other orders that we're seeing too. You can see that in the central region, the average discount is actually 51%. 26% of that is coming from, or the average of 26 is coming from tables, but we also have machines, furnishings, and binders that are very highly discounted. And this type of insight I wouldn't have typically come to from a dashboard because the line of questioning isn't covered in the dashboard. It's very specific to the use case I was delving into. And that's where we see the value of Tableau Next and Agentforce, because the questions that start to come from starting with the dashboard and then going deep into uncovering insights will also help you find things that you weren't initially looking for and action on that data. Within Agentforce now, I can do things like call out to start a meeting or create a campaign to actually drive change around these actions. But I have the insight that's going to start that process. And that all comes from being able to interact with the data in a much more customized way.